You know, being pleased is a rarer thing. These please me. Hi, Zeospantera, host of Inner Fetish and Z Reviews and Z's second channel. You should check out Z's second channel and Zeospantera with the unboxings and maybe a new unboxing channel. I don't know, I'm still filming like that. But anyway, these are the Audio-Technica X Apos ATH R70x Refines. And I have to say that because if I say 7DX, remember that joke? There was a joke years ago. 7DX. 7DX or 70X? Yeah. Anyway, I remember doing the OGs of these years ago, old apartment. And I remember I was comparing them against HD600s, which are not anywhere there because they're probably somewhere else. Because they don't, HD600s never rest. Oh, there they are. They're on top of the Porsche cluster. Anyway, these were, in their original form factor, supposed to be like that reference level thing that HD600s always were. And I never liked the 70X compared to the HD600s because the original 70X in my memory was the narrowest headphone, the narrowest headphone that had ever been. It was actually shocking. And these are so not that I'm wondering if the original pair that I reviewed was just broken or out of phase or something was wrong. Because these are refined. I should have picked a more. No, that's plenty. It's great. You love the wallpapers. I know you do. So yeah, gold. All right. Let's get the fucking monkey out of the room. This is my Magia cable, which is a collab I did with Apos. Because Apos had the flow cables and they weren't really very good and they weren't selling, and there's you know what, let me fix your whole shit. And then I decided to help them with this. And I know why now that they were so interested in doing a collab cable is because they needed to not have this cable come with their upcoming. It looks nice on the thumb, but ooh god. So this is the cable that comes with this unit. And Apos knows that they just, oof. So that's why when we were picking out which connectors to have on the Magia cable, which by the way, check out the Magia cable on Apos for all your connectors and connectivity needs. They were like, hey, we're gonna add one for the weird 2.5 locking Audio-Technicas. And I was like, all right, I guess. I mean, there's probably 7 headphones in the entire world that have it, but now I know. Because this looks nice, but it is such a, hold on, I'm gonna bang it on something. It's like, you know when a headphone cable gets old and hard? Ever use a headphone for 8 years and just sweat all over it and it just gets like wow, this is not even rubber anymore. That's this. It feels like a hard plastic. It's not quite Audio-Technica. It's not quite Hyphaman levels of absolute shit, but it is not good. It is not good to the point of I want to stab somebody that likes this. It's just jank and stiff, and it isn't good. It isn't good. And I know that, look, you only have so much power when you're doing a collab with a company. And Audio-Technica obviously is a pretty large company. And if they're like, no, we're not changing it to anything but these special locking 2.5s, then you're sort of fucking stuck with it. But luckily, at least I have a cable that doesn't suck. So yeah, let's look at the headphone before I plug in the cable, because there's something very specific about these headphones you might enjoy. They weigh nothing. They're like aerogel, the headphone. They are the only thing lighter than this are these. And that cable doesn't help. Yeah, no, it's How am I making this comparison? Legit, I'm legit obviously these don't weigh a lot, but there's still some, if I try to squeeze it and keep the weight in there, but then if I do the same thing with this, it's got a little bit broader metal, but God, it's fucking light. You could take these into space because they wouldn't even notice them on the space shuttle. Actually, I think they measured down to the half a gram or something. But all right, crazy light. And if you've never seen these before, I'll give the original tour of let's pretend no one's ever seen these before. So you've got these crazy light, weird spring-loaded things, and then this It has been the hottest of minutes since I've had to either complain or praise the angel wings, or whatever the fuck you want to call these, the boopers. These are a spring-loaded articulating pad that's relatively soft, actually, that is designed, when you put this on your head, this holds. Never over the top, just holds. And that means when you pull them down, they get pushed up. So you can put this headphone on, make it perfect, and then go whoop, and it'll just go whoop. And it's the weirdest feeling because it doesn't feel natural. But when it works and the headphone clamp is perfect, and it does, this is a rather strong clamp, by the way. And I would be hesitant to try to like remove clamp from this since it is such a holy piece of metal. And for the fact that these require the ear pads to grip a little bit because there's no way they're going to stop it from sliding down. It's a whole thing. You won't know if you love the way this feels until you tried it. But Audio-Technica has been doing this for fucking decades now, so I think they've found their market. The other issue I have with them, okay, so there's several issues. This thing is weird, and I've seen people get rubber bands and literally just put a rubber band under here and literally connect the two. So there's a rubber band across the top. So that's an option. The pads are not the greatest. Like, they actually feel really nice. They're just not large. They're like a roomy 2-knuckle. They're definitely just a roomy 2-knuckle. There's no 3 knuckles in there. And they're round, and they're slightly smaller than, like, here's a 1540 pad. I'm telling you the size of the pads because I went on a little pad swapping adventure all by myself here at night a week and a half ago probably. And I figured something out. If you do not like these pads, which have this weird bit that stretches wide, instead of angling the pads, I just have a plastic ridge. And I'm not taking the pad off to show you because it's a fucking pain to get it back on. But these are pad agnostic. That's another rare thing. I haven't even got to the sound yet. Are you ready to talk about the sound? Because I really, really fucking like these. So, all right. I just want to get everything out of the way. So the wire connectors are weird, but we can get over that by you can support me in this channel with the Magia cable and get a weird 2.5, specifically R70 cable. Boom. The pads are fine. They're soft and plush. They're a little small, and they kind of don't match the aesthetic here, where it's like big fuzzy pads, but it's all part of the tuning. And then the clamp, and they go on. Oh, also, this doesn't tilt. So if it's not perfect like that, and your head's like that or head's like that, you're going to get more pressure at the bottom or the top, depending. It just happens to work for me. In that instance, you can do... Actually, let me see if I have to actually bend this. No, see, it fits me perfectly. They've made a headphone that fits me perfectly. Should you buy these and it doesn't fit right, by the way, $300. I'm trying to get all this information out, and it's all disconjointed. If you put them on and you don't like the way they feel, if they're pushing too much to the bottom or pushing too much to the top, you can't rotate the pad to fix it, which would be great if this was an angled pad, you could rotate it. You're going to have to actually bend the metal here. You're going to have to take this and physically clamp that and bend it without fucking these two little narrow gaps up. So good luck. So the wire is weird. The pads are small. The head strap is... People might not fall in love with it. The gold and black, I'm actually into it. I'm actually into the color scheme they went with. Maybe not with the gold, black, gray, and purple. Yeah, I'm into that. Now we got to talk about sound. These are the polar opposite of Sundara. Sundar, right there. See Sundara, Heidfman Sundar? Heidfman Sundaras are, and I haven't taken them out to listen to them in a while, but when it goes that long, when I go 5-6 months without listening to a headphone, but I reference it all the time, then there's just this like emotional attachment I have to the memory of Sundara. Not Sasvara. The Sundara, Sasvara, Bambara. Shut the fuck up, Heidfman. Pick real names. The Sundara is a very natural, very light, very open sound. This is still light, but heavy. Heavy. Everything about it is warm. Everything about it is smooth. There's no shrillness to anything. I am plugged in currently to the RME ADI 2/4 Pro SE. But so let's take it out of that for a second. Let's put into something a little more neutral. So the K19 Widowmaker here. Look at the way the cable just Magia. Thank you, Apos, for helping me make the Magia cable. It's a joy to use. So I have a preferred sound signature, right? Everybody knows Zeos's preferred sound signature times Kaokin times 30 is the Eris. But normal people may not be into it as hard. And so this is a good middle stepping ground that I enjoy. I find myself, actually, I'm going to turn the gain up on this a little bit. I didn't think I needed that much more gain, but we're going to go from high to super high, which is still not as high as ultra high, which is another option on this. Holy fuck, that just exploded in my brain hole. Get out of the menu. What am I listening to? Epic Score? Epic Score is playing. These headphones take all the music that I'm listening to and just run it through like 3 warming filters. And I don't know how they did that. Compare if my remembering of the original R70X was accurate, which I highly am doubting now, because there's no way you could do this to that headphone without like changing the entire thing, the drivers, the pads, the fucking tune, resistance in the cable, everything, to get them to be this pleasing. That's the thing. These are a $300 headphones, so not the end of the world, breaking the bank on everything. These are just like Eris are sitting there at $250 to $300, just like the Paras over there, like the clean planar, equivalent to $300. These are this warm pot of soup that you sit in. And it's just a nice, this is a nice place to be. Are they detail whores? No, absolutely fucking not. But like the imaging is swirling, like it's swirling. There's swirling things happening. It's just swirling around me. But it's doing it in a way that's like, oh, it's really like mid-range focused. So whereas Eris has no mid-range, these are all mid-range. Not really. The bass goes down. Go to the best bass playlist. Actually, this Mob Psycho 100 song just kicked off. But it's not a bass headphone. It is not a bass headphone. As I say that, I switch to Nosage Thing Fog, the Jamie XX remix from Drift Remix. I have no idea what this song is. It's just, I'll try to get it to. What am I hitting on the top of my head? I keep smacking. Oh, it's these. I'm not used to when I take a headphone off, something dropping down and like attacking. So I gotta go way up when I'm wearing these. All right, I take it back. They have bass. Enough bass. Plenty of bass. Oh, man, the image. Not super wide soundstage. That's another thing that it shares in common with the Hi-Fi-Min Sundara, is that was never a big soundstage headphone. It was very natural and very clean and very light, but it was never big. It was not huge. That's what Paras are for. Paras and Venus are big fucking planars. Sundara was always like, ooh, it's just, you put it on and you listen to birds chirping and things and people ASMRing in your ears and a little tick, 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 tick. Perfect. These are that wearing a mink coat and smelling way too strongly of like a really nice cologne. Like, ooh, burnt cedar wood. Yeah, all right. So I guess putting on the bass playlist, a specific bass playlist, they just rumble. They're rumbly. They're both intimate and warm. So it's like you're curled up next to a fire, but are almost in the fire, but you like it because you're really cold? I don't know. My fucking analogies for doing headphones have Hail to misery. David Munyon, Four Wild Horses. Very audiophile, Stockfish Records. And it sounds like the man isn't even in my head. He's in my central nervous system singing this fucking song. And it sounds like him, his whole guitar, the room I'm in, all this has been compressed and squeezed into this little ball and then placed inside my body. And I'm not upset with that. It's not like, oh, it's really narrow. Zio said it's narrow. It's not that. There's never a time where you're listening to that. These would be a very, very good first-time headphone. For someone who has no idea what good headphones sound like, that's like the Dos Equis guy who doesn't usually drink beer, but when he does, he drinks Dos Equis. And why would you take his fucking advice? Because he doesn't usually drink beer. He doesn't fucking... You want the alcoholic to tell you what beer to drink. I always drink beer, and I like this beer. You don't want... I never drink beer, but when I do, that's... Dos Equis guy can suck it. These are one of the nicest They are one of the easiest listening headphones ever. It would avoid all the problems people have with my Eris, where it's like, oh, the treble gets too spicy. There is no spicy treble here. The mid-range is missing. This is mostly mid-range. It's warm, too. It keeps that same warmth that I like in a headphone. It doesn't quite go as ridiculous. I was going to say the other R word, but we're on YouTube. It doesn't go quite as ridiculous with the low end, yet it still has it. And the highs are absolutely trailed off. They are not good. You want to listen to violins all day? Well, here's the thing. It's the same problem I have when people are like, hey, I listen to this kind of music, this kind of music. Hey, Zeos, I listen to metal music all day. What headphone do you recommend? Do you want, if you ask me that question, is it my job to assume metal music tends to have a lot of high, shrill, loud sounds that are painful, at least to me? So I would look for a headphone like this that does not have or exacerbate high, shrill sounds. It softens everything. It warms it up. It puts it in a big pot of soup. That's what I would like to listen to metal music for 12 hours a day on. But there are some people that you have to ask specifically, well, do you like when the treble rips your fucking eyeballs out of your head and stamps on them on the floor? Because then I could recommend, other things. There's other things for that. But this headphone, it just softens everything. It puts you into this beautiful space. I'm going to get out of the bass playlist now. Actually, do I have a treble playlist? I think it's broken. I think my treble playlist is broken. I think all the music moved. Yeah, no, it's broken. Sad news bears. I have to go rebuild that playlist. David Carradine just yelling in my head. Inside my head. Oh, God. By the way, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, because I was just listening to an old podcast and the Trash Ace Boys were talking about they liked Kill Bill Volume 1 more than Volume 2. And that's dumb. They shouldn't have said that, because Kill Bill was supposed to be one movie. But the studio was like, we're not putting out a 3 hour and 45-minute movie. You fuck. Instead, we're going to cut it in half, and we'll release it twice and make twice as much money. He didn't want to do that. They wanted to do that. He was forced to do that. Kill Bill is one movie. Volume 1 and 2 are just what he had to do. In fact, he should have released a Blu-ray that was just Kill Bill, without the ending of the first episode movie and the beginning of the... Just a little rant thing I got to throw in the middle of these, because in case you didn't know, that's why Kill Bill is 2 parts. So when you say I like Kill Bill Volume 1 more than 2, it just means you like the first half of the movie more than the second half. But it's all one movie. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Ennio Morricone. I'm closing my eyes. These are a close your eyes headphone. I put them on, and I know my whole playlist. Obviously, I fucking know it inside and out. And I want to hear all of it again with my eyes closed and my head slightly shaft tilted to the right. And I want to go, do I like this more than a more revealing headphone? These are not a revealing headphone. Oh, by the way, I probably should bring this up too, since we're so far into the review. Bring up the page, $2.99, 3 reviews, 5 stars. The very first drop-down box asks if you want to have it with ModMics, because Apos now sells the ModMics. So we've got the Uni 2 and the USB 2 here, which, honestly, if you're going to use this, skip the Magia cable, because it would be a terrible tragedy to have to, like, because what these are, in case you don't know, in case you've been living in a fucking cave for 7 years, ModMics are a attachable, detachable microphone, so you could use it for gaming or if you're doing conference calls and things like that. And there's styles where it's just a 3.5 millimeter plug, and you run it down alongside the normal wire, and you can clip it along the normal wire. Or you could have it USB if you want to just not have to deal with an interface or anything. So this is like my half review of the Antlion ModMic USB 2 and Uni 1. There is a wireless version as well, which I have 2 of in this house. And I just don't game enough to have it, and I have a fucking full review desk mic that's like imposing in my face hole. But if I was a normie, I would absolutely look into doing this. The annoying part with the wired one is that you actually have to deal with the giant box that's just a mute box. I wish this was just a tiny little inline switch or on here. This one actually has a physical switch you slide up and down. This one, since it's USB, has a push button. But you have to basically attach it to the wire of your headphone to bring it down neatly and then plug it into something separate. So yeah, Antlion ModMics available at the same time. So you can get the wireless one. It adds, Jesus, it goes up $120 with the wireless one. Or if you get the one that plugs in, it goes up $50. You get the one that's USB, it goes up $70. Honestly, the USB one's probably the easiest because you could just extend it anywhere you want. So that's your first option to go up. The second is you can add on the Magia cable, like we're using here. And you can either get a balanced 4.4, a 4-pin, or a 6.35, which is what... Oh, they look so pretty. Oh, they look so pretty. They're huge, by the way. These are huge. And this one is loose and unscrews. When you can see there's just heat shrink underneath it. It's such well-built shit. Just need to put some... let's put it here for a second. Boom. Yeah, good. So you can add that. Let's see how much the single-ended 6.35 adds. Well, exactly the cost of a Magia cable. Actually, wait, is that less? Oh, that is less. Son of a bitch. Because it goes from $300 to $435. That's $135. It's $185 for the cable. You save $40 if you order a Magia cable with it. So they really, really, really hate this cable. And they love the Magia cable. Because who doesn't love the Magia cable? Lastly, you could also add on no DAC amp ear pads. Or you can get the shit piety brass knob amp, which makes it $150 more, or a topping DX1, which makes it $60 more. Or you could add ZMF Ori or Caldera pads. Okay, so they offer it with different pads. That's wild. I don't actually have those 2 pads, but I just sat here for a while. And by just, I mean a week ago, and by for a while, I do mean like 2.5 hours. Just fucking with different pads on these, because everything about them is fire. They are a warm, soft, lovely place to be. They weigh nothing. The ear pads get a little bit warm, but I feel like if I were to just gently, just gently release some of that, it would cool them off. Or you can get the Caldera or any pad. The problem is getting the pad back on, because you see here. All right, fuck. It's the end of the review. I'm taking this one off. Okay. There's your driver. There's your foam around the driver, which is blocking the vent holes that go behind it. For some reason, Audio-Technica, one of the largest headphone manufacturers in the world, can't figure out how to make the pad not have to go through this fucking nightmare. And by the way, there's another one down here. So you get this fat plastic bit here, which turns a flat pad into an angled pad. And on the stock pads, you see there's a fatter lip in the back than in the front. So make sure when you're putting this on, it's fat lip on the back first. Then thumb it so it doesn't move. And then you got to work these other ones underneath it and twist them under. It's a whole nightmare. It's a whole nightmare. But a pad swap on this, if you can find the right size pads, because even like these are just a little bit different in the way they would mount. Oh, because that's like, it doesn't want to do there. Just too big. It doesn't have enough lip. But like, you put 1540 pads on here, it changes them entirely, and they're great. You put Eris pads on here, it changes them entirely. It doesn't, well, actually, no, I'm sorry. It changes the feeling entirely, and it's great. The only thing that's like a minor like the negative is just big, warm, fuzzy pads. It matches the sound, and it's doing exactly what it needs to do to make the sound. But no matter what pads I put in it, it's got that same sound. I just wish they were a little bit less fuzzy. And that's weird to say from me, the man with the Eris pads. But somehow the Eris pads never get hot, and these do. So, yeah, this has been the R70x Refine. It's fucking great. And it's different. And all I care about, all Zeos cares about, looking at his wall of fucking headphones, is I want something that isn't like, oh, I have this already, it's that one. Or I have this already, it's that one. It has to be unique. Unique is what I want. Unique is why Eris exists. Eris isn't on that wall. Mostly because I don't have an extra one to put on there. But it isn't on that wall because none of these sound like it. And guess what? None of those sound like this either. And I can't think of a better thing to say about a headphone than it at least is unique. It has the tuning prowess to be like, it is fucking different. It is one of the warmest headphones I've ever listened to, which is not an Audio-Technica thing. You know it's not tuned by Audio-Technica when it actually has reduced treble for comfort reasons. You know someone else had their hand in it. And it stands like that on your desk if you want to be like that guy. It just wants the wire, the brass. This is, by the way, brass. Let me smash my mouse with it. The brass split is actually heavy enough that it rotates the headphones. That's how light these headphones are. The wire itself could actually throw it down. That's nuts. Anyway, wallpaper hoard. Link to these. Thank you to Apos for setting that out. Thank you to Apos for doing this. Oh, by the way, the mouse pad, also a license from Bob Ross's stuff and available on Apos. Did you know they sold mouse pads? Neither did I. Until about a year ago when they sent me all these mouse pads. So here's a Bob Ross mouse pad you can get on Apos. So link to the ModMics, probably on Apos. Links to the Magia cable separately on Apos. Oh, something I ordered. I almost forgot. I spent a grand total of $16 for this video, and it didn't arrive on time. I bought these. Look, you know what those are? Locking 2.5 to 3.5 fucking adapters for $17. Which means, if you are interested in this Magia cable, but you're like, you know what, Zeos? I'd love this Magia cable, but I really don't want to have one that's just for this headphone. Well, then you can get a normal one with 3.5 millimeter ends, spend $16 on those adapters, plug the adapters in here. The only problem is it'll make it real long because you'll have the 3.5s and those adapters sticking out. It's a lot. But at least then you could just adapt these to be 3.5 and be over with it. Audio-Technica, love you. Love this tuning. Hire whoever did this to help you. And also, fire your wire guy and get rid of these stupid connectors. There's zero fucking reason. Zero. Don't take a clip of that. Reason to have a locking 2.5. What are we, underwater? Oh, this connection needs to be stable under 90 fucking atmospheres of pressure. No, it's a fucking headphone cable. And you don't even need it to like go up. Like, where are we going with this thing? Just put a 3.5 and be done with it. Fix all headphones. Fix all headphones will be my new fucking thing on westand.org. We stand to fix all headphones and make them 3.5 millimeter. Anyway, I'm done, you're done, we're done. She's in the wallpaper hoard. Links to everything on Apos, because pretty much everything's from Apos. You from Apos? I think you're on Apos too. Fuck it, K19 on Apos. Hoard. Patreon subscribes to support this channel. Let you see reviews early. Let you participate in yard sales, which happen from the 1st to 10th of every month. They let you get to lossless sound demos, old ones that have all gone missing from YouTube, and new ones that are being created. And if you're a $5 patron, I do a monthly Q&A, where there's a Q&A post at the beginning of the month, and then I answer it in a public video at the end of the month, which you can go watch the previous responses on Patreon and Subscribestar. And for $10 a month, you get into the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, where you can buy, sell, and trade gear. No, wait. Well, you get into the private Telegram chat, where you can ask me questions. And that puts you into a lifetime Swap Meet channel, where you can buy, sell, and trade gear. So there you go. So you get one and the other. And you're in that for life, and you never get kicked out of it. But patronage chat does get wiped every 3 months to make sure you're still a current patron, unless you've been paid enough to be in the lifetime chat. It's the whole thing. Anyway, wallpaper was great. Her purple hair, purple cable, gold and black, and Bob Ross and ModMics, and you believe I didn't have coffee this morning? I just mowed my lawn, woke me up.